And we are live. Sunday Night with Those Guys and Sunday Night with Those Guys is sponsored by
Those guys. I didn't hit my crowd. I missed a button. Hold on. Never mind. Anyway, what's up, everybody? How are
How's
you?
it going?
How are you, Herman? How are you, Stephen?
What's
What's
going
Hi,
on?
Herman. Hi, Lawrence. Yeah, good. Yeah, good. All good. How are you?
Well, I'm good. I'm over here. I'm doing all right. You know.
Stephen, I hope you don't mind. Everyone, hey, what's up, everyone in the chat? Big Matt, everyone chilling. Stephen, I hope you don't mind, but in the near future, I'm gonna try and find a map, a world map, right? And then what we're gonna do is when you come on, we're gonna try and guess where in the world Stephen is. But we will have the places you've been to pegged already. Because I just want everyone to know it's 6 a.m. where Stephen is right now. I know when I spoke to you last, you were saying good night. I'm going to bed, and it was morning for me. Do you remember? Right?
That's right. I
Earlier
remember.
today.
Yeah, oh, yeah. That was right. That was that. Yeah, that was right. Oh, Emma in Helsinki. Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
I
Yeah.
speak to Stephen every morning.
So what's up, Herman?
Oh, nothing much. You know. I'm just here. I was watching the nail go into the coffin on football for New York. For New York.
Oh. Yeah. Well, it is what it is.
Yeah, it's done.
Are you privileged enough to just tell us where you are in the world? You don't. We don't discuss why you're there. We won't do that. But can you tell us where you are instead of where's Waldo? Where's Stephen?
I'm currently in Asia. I'm currently in Taiwan.
Okay.
Now I arrived in Taiwan last night, so I'm in Taipei, which is the capital at the north of the island, and I'm in quarantine for 14 days.
Oh,
wow!
Which is going to be really tough. It's going to be really tough, and so I can't leave the room, and I can't get room service. I get food brought to me 3 times a day, which is fine. But the food can be, I've heard it can't be all that great all the time, but I can phone food in from Uber Eats and stuff, so that would be quite good. I can get coffee and whatnot, maybe. But yeah, I'm stuck inside 14 days, and then when well, you guys know what I'm doing here. You guys know what I'm doing, and I'll be here. I'll be in Taiwan until the end of February. So I'll be home in March. So I'm here for some time.
Okay, well,
it was rough.
Yeah, 14 days.
I mean, once you get out, I mean, after 14 days, you'll be able to move about, right? I mean,
oh yeah, I can move about.
Whatever you want. You don't have to worry about being confined and subjected to the coffee in the hotel and the.
Yeah,
Go ahead.
No, they do keep tabs on you, so it's like 14 days in quarantine and then 7 days. 7 days awareness of isolation, so you have to be aware about what you do. I've got COVID tests here. I've got thermometers. I need to document my temperature every day, 3 times a day. I need to take COVID tests and everything, and it's really, they're really tough here. Yeah, and then I get all the results.
You're doing the work for them,
kind of, but they won't come near me. But they won't come near me. Everything's covered in plastic. Everything's been sanitized, and it's insane. It's just insane. I've had this before, but nothing like this. This is just next level.
To the extreme. This is really to the extreme.
Yeah.
Well, I hope your 14 days goes by
quick.
Well, fast, but it's tedious.
I don't think so. I'm documenting this, so I'm going to be doing videos every day. I'm going to be doing videos every day to show people what it's like within the drone industry, a side that you never see. And that is not just flying drones, but doing something completely not flying drones. But this is the drone industry, so.
You know what you got to do?
What's that?
Every day you get up, you put the a little camera in the corner, and you get back in bed with the curtains drawn, and then you sit up on the corner of the bed, go to the window and open the window and shut it back and go lay back down.
That's what I'm going to do. That's and I'll video that, and then I'll credit you for that once. Okay.
Hey, Maddie's Drone World, how are you? What's up, everybody? Welcome to Sunday Nights with those guys. Stephen is our special guest.
Or you
Stephen is our special guest when abroad, and we appreciate it very much because it gives you a regular spot on, throughout the year. You got your time slots allocated already booked in, so you don't have to worry about it.
Yeah,
What were you
Stephen,
saying, Herman?
when you go to that window, Stephen, or when you open it up, you could just yell out the window, "Good morning, Taiwan."
Every morning.
Yeah, I actually can open one of the windows here, so I can open one of them. So
Give me a
it's quite-
second, Lawrence. I'll be right back. Somebody's
Yes,
knocking.
not a problem, not a problem. Well, just to let you know, if any time you feel you need to document Zooming with someone or going live, we're more than volunteering our services, sir.
Excellent. Thank you very much.
Okay.
Thank you. I'm going to need all the help and the support over the next 14 days. So I really am. It's going to be this is going to be a good test for me psychologically. It's it's going to be really tough. We're under no illusions that this is not going to be easy. My team are here as well, so I've got 2 or 3 other guys here also in the hotel. They're also going through the
Okay.
same thing. We all travel together, and coming into the country was interesting, very interesting.
Well, can I ask you one question?
Yeah.
And this is very important with being quarantined. Are you allowed to have alcohol?
That's a good. That's one of the most important questions, Lawrence.
Yes,
And the answer is no.
Why not?
The answer is
What?
no. If you remember, 3 months ago, 4 months ago, when I was in Indonesia and I was on the show, and I had 5 days in quarantine, and we could get beer on room service. So we had beer on room service, which was great because we would have meetings with the team and we would have a beer and stuff. Now, no. So no alcohol for 14 days. Again, a good test.
I mean, not even to your room by yourself?
No.
Wow.
Yeah, I know.
Oh,
So that's
It
what
will be a
I'm
real
gonna-
psychological test.
at the end of this 14 days. And that's why I'm documenting this now. So anyone who's interested, you can subscribe to my channel, and I'm going to be posting a video every day about what it's like to be in the drone industry, but be in this situation. And let's see at the end of the 14 days what I look like. I don't know.
You can imagine.
I mean, 14 days with nothing to do, can't get a beer, nothing. You can't leave the room, nothing. You might be
Herman.
taller.
Herman.
I don't even have a key for my room. So if I leave the room,
Can't
and I
get
get
back.
I'm
You're getting tased.
I think there's something like $1 million. I think it's $1 million Taiwanese dollars or something. I get fined, which is like a hell of a lot of money. It's a hell of a lot of money. So I mean, there's a heavy fine. This is like serious stuff here, like Hollywood.
Hey, like I said, you might sit in there and sleep like a bear and be a little taller in 14 days.
I'm just hoping the place doesn't. There's not a fire in the hotel, or there's not an earthquake or something. I don't know what I should be doing.
I pray that, yeah, for real. Could you imagine?
Gotta get out. Gotta get out.
Yeah.
You're quite creative. I'm sure you'll figure out a way.
Let's see.
You'll figure out a way. But to be honest, knowing that I'm there for 14 days, I would plan each day accordingly, or try to have some kind of routine every day, but I would not keep track of the days, because when you look at it, you say, damn, I've only been here 2 days. This felt like a month.
Yeah.
That's a good point, and I think that's that's really what I should try to
Smackhead.
do. Try to be vigilant and be tough on that. Hi, Smeghead, how you doing? I don't have my chat open. I can't see who's on here. Please excuse me. So I'll just have a quick look to see
No,
everyone.
it's not a
who's in the
problem,
chat.
man. It's not a problem whatsoever.
Matthew's
It,
here.
it
Hi,
is
Matt.
still morning there.
Yeah.
Welcome
All of you.
everybody. Sunday nights with those guys. If you don't know who this gentleman is, this is Steven from the Flyby Guys. You have to check
Steven.
his channel up, check his channel out. He's a regular that comes through every few months, periodically, when he's abroad. When he's in Finland, we don't want him. That he's home then, but when he's in Finland, but when he's abroad, we got to have him on to see where's Steven in the world. You know, you've heard of Where's Waldo. Hey, Lake Pilot. What's up, everyone? Don't forget to click that like button. Get it out the way. Well, we appreciate you coming on, Steven. Herman,
Hold
how's your week? How Tim Jackson? What's good, man?
Hey,
How's your
Tim, what's
week?
up, man?
How was your week, Herman?
It was pretty good. I can't complain. I mean, I guess I could, but you know, who's listening? I mean, I'm alive. I'm here. I'm doing my thing. I'm got some things working on.
Yes.
I got some stuff in the mail that I gotta, you know, do a little video on. I think I'm do a little video on it.
Okay.
Nice.
And Steven, no flying in the room.
I've got a drone with me. I've got a drone with me. I'm flying in this room. I'm flying in this room. Trust me,
14 days, you bet believe that.
we actually my entire team have all brought their minis with them as well, so we all have mini
Oh,
twos.
wow.
We're all going to be flying in their rooms. Look,
That's funny.
Nothing else to do.
I know.
you
Well,
gotta do what
it
you gotta
should be an
do.
interesting 14 days, as strict as they are, and especially without alcohol. I listen. I salute you right now. I salute you, man. Cheers, man. I feel so bad for you, bro.
I've got paper cups because I can't have any other cups. It wouldn't give me real cups or plates. Everything is disposable. It's insane.
Yeah. So now, when your garbage gets full, what do? You just stick it outside the door?
That's a good question. I don't know. I have, and
Because it sounds like if you open a door, they're gonna blowtorch it with a flamethrower or something.
I have a stool outside. There's a stool outside my door, and it's got my room number on the stool, and that's where they leave food. So they put the food on the stool, so I can open the door and take that out. This is bin bags, so I think I can empty my bin, and then I can put it outside. So I think this is
okay.
This is insane. Oh man, here we go.
Listen, I only hope that you make it through these 14 days. You're gonna discover how creative you really are as a person.
Probably. I hope so. I really hope so. I'll be scanning this room
14 days.
Because after a while you start turning into MacGyver and you start creating stuff, and I could see him now putting the chair on the bed and trying to fly under the chair, and like he's flying through a tunnel.
And then by day number 4, he's sitting in the chair, leaning
on the
over,
bed, flying under it. Right.
falling asleep in the chair.
You're giving me ideas now, guys. You're
Giving
giving
them
me
ideas. You hear, Herman?
Next
Give
you
me
do it.
ideas.
Okay, who on the panel is running a loom off camera?
What?
Recovery 1, LOL. Who in the panel is running a loom off camera? I don't know. Oh, I hear it's going.
Yeah.
That, unfortunately, is the ceiling fan. Let me turn it down some. That's what that is. He said a loom. See, it got quieter. Hey, El Smeghead, do what I did in hotel isolation. Get an online grocery, booze shop delivered to your room. Better than mini bars. They can't drink in the room, Smeghead. That's
Andy,
what
Andy,
we're saying.
Andy, I can only get Uber Eats, but they don't deliver alcohol, so I can't get anything. That doesn't, and room service will not bring anything up. I only get the food that I get 3 times a day, which is designated by the hotel, so I can't get any alcohol. I was thinking about bringing something with me, but I decided 14 days without would be a good thing. Very brave.
Well, Angie says 14 days is a lot, but she would start drawing on the walls.
Yeah.
Or walking up the walls.
Yeah.
Yeah, true.
You know, hey, quick question. Here's an idea. Does the bed move? Is it attached to the wall or the floor?
Just
Really
check.
quick. Really quick. Got a great idea for you.
Rearrange the rooms.
Yes, it moves.
Okay, check this out. Listen closely. You don't need a pen, but check this out, Stephen. One day you get up really, really early and you take the bed and everything, you put it up against the wall. You keep it made like that against the wall, and you do something like it, up against the wall with the bed like that. Yo, dude, I could come up with some shit. I mean, maybe
the
not to that
furniture
extent.
moves, rearrange the room.
Rearrange the room. Each day you have a different room. You're in the same room. See?
One of my pilots done that when we were in Jakarta a few months ago. He done that, so he actually rearranged the room and he was flying his drone around the room doing that. So yeah, please send me some ideas, Lawrence.
Dude, I got you. I got you. El Smeghead says, Tim Jackson says he'd go crazy without any alcohol. I'm thinking I would probably by 14th day be sitting there talking to myself, going through withdrawals.
Tim, this is a good test for me, a good test for everyone. If I can survive this, anyone can. So, and as I said, I'm going to be documenting this. So I'm going to be putting a video out every day. So watch out for those. You can just see my decline into madness.
El Smeghead, just beer, man, just beer. It's a tall cup, but I'm only drinking beer tonight. That's all. Nothing hard. Just chilling. Novice, you can use a pen and doodle. LOL. Because I was asking her, airplane shots delivered by drone. The little nips.
Yeah, they actually have a company that delivers wine.
Well, the Mini can only I think it can only carry shots anyway, so it's too small, so it can only carry shots.
Well, Tim Jackson says there must be a delivery somewhere, but Tim Jackson, before you came in, Stephen had mentioned that there are no alcohol in the entire hotel. They're not allowing it. I guess if you're supposed to be quarantined, they don't want you tearing their shit up too. Hey, exactly. Good morning, feet on the ground, Rob and Sue.
Well, that's the thing.
Good morning, guys. Your package is going out on Tuesday.
Well, that's the thing, Lawrence. Everybody and everything that's I know of that are mammals and on land fidget. Dogs, cats, humans. And without alcohol, humans fidget even more with nothing to do.
I know. And
especially if they're used to doing it, if they're used to drinking it. So I don't know. But, I mean, there's a lot of things you could do to occupy your time. You can learn the TV schedule and learn to love TV or surf the net all day.
I don't really watch much television, so
you then fly the drone around.
As Lost Girl Adventures is saying, it's time to do to get in shape and get a workout. That's probably
you can do that too.
I think that's exciting.
Smeghead, he's in Taiwan now. He's actually in Taiwan now.
Just can't use the curtain rod to do pull-ups.
6:18 in the morning in Taiwan now. And over in Australia, it's morning too. What's up, AV drone dudes? Night train. Feet on the ground. Once again, I mentioned your care package will be going out on Tuesday. When I meet up with Herman in Brooklyn, we have some stuff to put in a box there.
Yes, you can use the curtain rod or the rod in the closet to do pull-ups. No, can't do that. You'll tear it down.
Yeah.
So that's definitely out of it, out of the picture.
Yeah.
Well, I seriously hope that you are very creative in those 14 days. You should have enough stuff just off the top of your head, so.
Let's see. You know, this past week, this past 5 days has been really exhausting just on the run up to come here. Getting, we had to get visas and we had to get government to step in to speed things up for us and stuff. So it's been a really stressful couple of days. So I'm actually happy to just sit back and relax for a couple of days because it's been non-stop. It's been really crazy, but because this
Herman.
is all.
Mm-hmm.
Hey Herman, check back with him in 5 days. See if he's saying that shit in 5 days.
What? Well, Steven? Oh, well.
Yeah, I could sit back and chill for a few days. I don't mind. By the 5th day, he's like, "Oh my god!"
Well, you know what? That's what I was going to tell you. He's trying to get a video of the whole time, and like I said, I can see it now. The first day, he flies a little bit with the drone. You see him flying in the room. He gets the room service, and he flies a little bit more. He's sitting there watching a couple of things when he's on the computer. He's on his phone. He's sitting there. He lays down a little bit. Then he's flying the drone again. Then his more room service comes in. Goes to bed. The next day he's up. He's doing push-ups. He's flying the drone. He does push-ups, a bunch of air squats and stuff like that. Then he resorts to doing burpees and stuff like that in the room. And then he's sitting. He's like, "Damn." So only 3 hours went by. And then he's sitting there, he's flying the drone again, and he's just begging the day to go by. And it's only day number 2.
Oh
yes, yeah. Oh. You should be all right. Wait, do you have a razor?
Yeah.
Oh, because I was gonna say, then you'd be coming out of there with a beard looking like Rick Van Winkle in 14 days, man.
Again, these are things that I'm thinking, should I just let it grow or what?
Yeah, let it grow.
How are you, Mike Roach?
Let it grow.
So, Stephen, our prayers are with you.
Thank you. Thank you.
Let it grow, Stephen. They might ask you when you come out.
I want to see this. I want to see this document. Hey, JSK, how are you, Leonard? I want to see this every day. Type in a chat. Well, you're not in a chat, right? Let me go get your channel, and that way everyone has to subscribe to Stephen right now. So if you don't have him, do a time lapse with the drone.
Yeah,
that would be hot. You put it there and do a time lapse, and you move real slow, and then you speed ramp it. Yes, you should be writing this stuff down, Stephen.
All he's got to do is sit there and take as many pictures as it can.
Right, just hovering while you sit on one side of the room, you get up, you walk on the other side.
Yeah.
You look out the window, you go lay down, you jump up and down on the bed really quick. These are, dude. Yeah, you should be good at least for the first week, Stephen.
Yeah. And, you could be super creative and you could do some really, really cool things. I think that is certainly that's certainly what I can do. So let's see.
Once you get too creative, quarantine will be over quick.
It should be over quick.
Yeah, they're gonna be telling you to do it. You gotta go.
Tim, please have 2 for me. Have 2 beers for me, Tim. Please.
I will also. In fact, when I open it, if you hear something, I'm sending it telepathically. You hear, because you do know by the 7th day of not drinking or doing any type of drugs, your body starts tricking you into thinking that you need beer or whatever it is, right? So what happens is you may smell beer. You may taste it. Weird shit like that happens starts happening about the 7th day.
He said he's gonna Jones over some beer.
And Taiwanese beer is really good. Was Andy saying got to take a run outside and walk to shop? Oh, thanks, Andy. Thank you, Andy. Yes, he's always so supportive.
Hey, Mike Rose says, damn, Lawrence, you're tripping with those ideas. Dude, I'm not saying lock me up in a room for 14 days. I probably couldn't think of a damn thing. But because it's not me, I got plenty of ideas.
That's what I said to you. He's gonna run out of ideas after hour number 2. And he's gonna sit there, he's like, damn, it's only day 2.
It's true, it's true. But anyway,
I charge my batteries back up.
Thanks for coming into the chat. Just drink a beer, have a shot for Stephen. Every day we'll have one in memory of Stephen while he's in quarantine for the next 14 days. Welcome to Sunday Nights with those guys. We have a few stories tonight that will.
Well, you know what, Lawrence? Before you get started on those stories, I got this one thing here I wanted to show you. You know, I got them up.
Oh yes, check this out. Check this out, guys. He got the mugs that were done courtesy of Just For You. In fact, Sunday Nights with Those Guys is sponsored by Just For You. So if you don't know who Just For You is, it's actually Rob Aviano's daughter. She has a little business that she does. Wait a minute, Herman. Yeah. Did you show I didn't see my mug.
What do you mean you didn't see your mug?
Well, I know
your mug is on your face. No, but
oh, here we go. See, now that's nice. That's really, really nice. I like that. I really do like that. So this segment of Sunday Nights with Those Guys is sponsored by Just For You. Go buy Supporter. If you don't want 10, 15, 20 of them printed up, you want your own custom mug like Herman and I have, thanks to Just For You. There it is. Thank you, Jessica. Like I said, Aviano Ariels, who's in the chat, it's his daughter. She does it on the side, and I'm always for promoting someone that's doing something other than sitting around on the couch playing video games or in their phone.
You mean like you do?
Herman, hey Max there. Herman, he calls Steven, and I'm playing Xbox all the time. He's like, what are you doing? What else am I doing? I'm playing Xbox. You know, my doctor Stephen thinks it's funny that I'm 58 years old and I play Xbox. I said, you know, I don't have arthritis. I don't have any problems with my hands. And I said, it keeps my brain thinking and functioning. Yeah. What size mug is that, Herman? What, a 8-ounce, 10-ounce?
That's a good question. I'm not sure.
We're not sure, but you can go to the page right here and ask her what size mugs are they. She's reasonably priced, and like I said, young lady is still in school and making money legally. I stress the words legally. If that makes sense.
She's got her own little business going on, and that's what it is.
That's good.
Yes.
And that's a very good thing.
Hey, Ed, how are you, Ed? Haven't seen you in a while. Good to see you, Max Air. What's up, everybody? Please click that like button if you already haven't.
Box yours back up, Lawrence, and I got it here. When I see you, I'll give it to you.
Okay, thank you much. Well, I'm coming Tuesday, so Tuesday I'll be able to pick it up because I'm also shipping out Feet on the Ground. Those of you don't know, Feet on the Ground is way over in Australia. I've known him since I was flying the 3DR Solo. He's another gentleman about my age that plays Xbox. There's a bunch of old people playing Xbox now, man. Nobody's sitting on a couch knitting and stitching and doing shit like that. We're playing
making
Xbox
rugs
and VR. You're right. Nobody's making damn rugs, you know. So Feet on the Ground, him and his wife, Sue, sent a care package to me 2 years ago. And this year they sent a package which unfortunately got stolen, but Herman had Herman has a PO box, so they sent another care package. So this Tuesday we're sending them a care package to Australia from those guys, just out of being nice, you know. So we've been doing that for a little while now. All right, I guess we can get into this.
It's not so much that I have a PO box. I just have a beautiful concierge desk. where they contact you when you have packages in.
Right, right. That's pretty much what it is. Right. When the package comes in,
They
you hear the
call you on the
chime on the
phone.
wall. You hear the chime on the
You got
wall.
packages. You got you know, that's the luxuries of it.
Of a concierge.
Yeah.
Right.
Why not?
Well, anyway, let's get into this first story.
Hey, what's up, Tom?
Hey, Tom, how are you? Hope everyone's doing fine out there. This story is actually came out on the 6th, and I had not known about it, but for the first time, a drone did for good, and it's been documented as the first autonomous drone that actually saved a heart attack patient by delivering a defibrillator.
Right.
Yeah.
Now,
This is a really, really big story. First of all, hi Tom. Tom, good to see you in the chat there, Tom. So this is a company from Sweden. So they're right next to Finland, right? And they're a company that I know because we're doing a lot of projects in the same line together. So, and Everdrone being Swedish based, they come a lot to Finland and do their stuff. I don't know if you remember the video that I done a couple of maybe 3, 4 months, 5 months ago, where the drone's flying from Finland to Estonia. I don't know if you remember that video that I done.
Yeah.
On that day, Everdrone were in Finland and they were doing a demonstration of this defibrillator delivery. Okay. And I was invited to that demonstration. Now, it was only a demonstration, which meant it wasn't real world. So I wasn't interested in it. I thought, I don't want to go and do this, but I wanted to see this extended BVLOS, which was happening between Finland and Estonia. So I opted to go and do that, and I filmed that. And you can see that video. But I often, I was quite skeptical and optimistic that how were Everdrone going to do this? How was this going to get into the real world? At what point do they have a drone that says this is within the distance of someone that needs it? Now, they are using an M600, a DJI M600, and that is quite limited with the radio. So you can't get beyond 1 kilometer, maybe 1.5 kilometers. It depends on where on where you are. So the fact that they've actually done this now is incredible. I think it's a much bigger story than it really should be. I mean, it's getting good press, and I think it's totally worth it. But it's a fantastic story. It's a fantastic achievement. This person's life was saved because of a drone delivery.
Yeah,
you know what's funny? What's crazy about that is that I've done stories here where talked about where they're working on this program that's going to be delivering defibrillators, and I hear a lot of talk about, oh, this will never happen, and I hear these, and we do story after story about these drone deliveries and these programs that's in testing, and they're working this out, and they're working. Oh my God, I'm glad to see it finally come down.
Yeah,
you know what I'm saying? I'm finally glad to see it work.
I agree with you guys, and here's something funny that caught my eye with the story. When this happened to this gentleman, it happened on my birthday last year, which was December 9th, 2021.
Okay.
And I was like, wait a minute, that's my birthday. As I'm reading the story, I'm like, wow, that's how long ago it happened. But it goes on to say that because of the fact that there was a doctor driving by at that exact moment, he was able to call the agency that Everdrone. What is it? I'm sorry.
It's Everdrone.
Yeah, Everdrone. Right. He was able to contact Everdrone, knowing they were within distance and that they were doing this. The story goes on to say, thanks to the combination of immediate emergency call, the quick action of Dr. Mustafa Ali, and a swift delivery of an automated drone from beginning to end, from the time he pulled up to when the defibrillator was dropped off, was a total of 3 freaking minutes.
Now, this is where drone operations really come into play here. Now, having yourself ready, right? Now, doing, I've been doing drone operations. I've been doing drone delivery. You need to plan your day well. Even if you're not going to be flying, you need to be ready to fly, which means your batteries have to be charged. Your remote controller has to be charged. You have to be ready. You have to be
ready to go at the snap of a finger.
Yeah. As soon as that phone goes, bang, you go, right? So, everything is if buts. And if you go back to my drone delivery, which I was doing with the pharmaceuticals, we didn't know when we were going to get orders, but orders did come in. And when they come in, you have to be ready. Batteries have to be charged. And this is where this has worked so well, because they have had those batteries on those drones. That drone has been sitting on the launch pad waiting to go, which means that they have to have the immediate GPS to go on right away. That has to catch so they can go. They have to have good radio, as well as charged batteries, as well as someone available to fly it, and then get it there. And all of that combined is what makes drone operations work, and what makes drone operations successful. Having done that, having had that experience, it takes a lot of planning. It takes a lot of vision and a lot of foresight. So you have to be, and that's why I think that this is such a good story. People don't understand just how big and how important and how much work has went into this. That drone has probably been sitting, waiting there for 3-4 weeks.
Yeah.
And like I've said, I'm not saying that I was skeptical, but when I was invited to go to this demonstration in Finland, when they were doing this, it was Everdrone who were doing that, the defibrillator delivery. I thought, I don't want to go to an airfield and watch it go from A to B. But then at the same time, I'm feeling guilty that I don't want to, to hope someone has a heart attack and go, yes, it's worked. It's kind of a funny situation to be in, but I'm so happy to see Everdrone have been successful for that. I'm happy for the
I agree. I'm happy with Everdrone. I want to give some logistics here, because it says there's approximately 275,000 patients in Europe that suffer from OHCA, which they call out of the hospital cardiac arrest, and 350,000 in the States. Right now, Everdrone can reach a number of 200,000 residents in Sweden, and is expected to expand in Europe during 2022. So right now, they're already reaching 200,000 residents in the country of Sweden.
Yep.
Ready to drop off defibrillators or whatever else they may need to carry.
You're right. You're right, Tom. That is true. Logistics is key.
Logistics is key indeed. It really is. It's it's good. What do the viewers out there in the chat, what do they think about this? Because what we're dealing with now is just seeing the positive side of drone delivery. And I've been very open with this, and I've said I don't believe in drone deliveries when it comes to shopping bread. I don't think that is the future of drone delivery. I think that medical is the future of drone deliveries. It was a success when I done it with the pharmaceuticals. It's been a success now for Everdrone. And what's next?
It's funny because for me, I saw it take off when we first did the story with about Dr. Gwen, or with here in the States with in North Carolina with Wake Med and UPS and Matternet is the airline that's flying the tissue samples and blood samples and stuff across from hospital to research and stuff, labs and stuff like that. They're doing a big thing over there. And that's where we first started seeing that kick off. And then when the pandemic came in, we heard about vaccines and stuff like that. And we had done a few stories on drones doing, they were just setting up programs for drones to be able to do this deliveries for, defibrillators. And then when I saw, because follow each other on Twitter. I saw the thing come when you had posted the thing, and I saw that, and I read the story, and I was like, wow, I was like, yo, finally, it's here, it's happening. It happened.
It's
everything that they're doing is
and this
that they wanted to do.
Yeah, and this happened what, last year?
It was
December 9th.
Late last year.
On my birthday.
Late last year.
It was literally a few weeks ago.
Yeah, a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah.
You know, so to actually see something like this happening in real life, real time, and this is the first rescue, and obviously there's a need for it because someone created it and it worked.
It happened.
Yes, it happened and it worked.
Yeah.
You know, you figure a 3-minute flight time from a call, that, like you said, Stephen, there's someone sitting there with the controller in their hand. There's a drone with a fully charged battery. Okay. There's someone plotting the course as they speak. You know, what's the fastest route there, et cetera. There's a lot of logistics in it. But 3 minutes from that phone call to the doctor that was there, that was able to use the defibrillator, hey, drone bum, what's up? And bring the guy back to consciousness because he was already performing CPR. And then by the time the ambulance got there, the man's life was saved, because this story also goes on to say, when someone has an out of the hospital cardiac arrest, or basically a heart attack, stroke, whatever it is, for each minute that you're sitting there unconscious and not breathing, 7 to 10% of your brain slowly goes away. Functions of your brain go away. So an ambulance that may have taken 5 to 8 minutes, 10 minutes to get there, and they delivered a defibrillator in 3 minutes, that prevented that guy from probably being.
Well, Lawrence, I don't know if you've ever saw the defib, but the way it's designed, anyone can use it.
Yes, you take the 2 pads, you put them, they show you with the nose.
A lot of them actually, I don't know, the ones I've seen, and we've had like the one because we have to have it on the field all the time.
Yes,
it almost tells you what to do.
Welsh Rob, what's up?
Hey, Welsh Rob.
Well, I hope that I never have to use one or have one used on me, but it's obvious that they are needed in places. Like you said, you're one of the coaches of a football team, and you guys have one there. It's why the bystander CPR is so important. Yet, right? That's true. Even if you don't know, you should know CPR. You should. I don't, but they're saying that you should learn it. You never know when it'll be needed. Hey, I fix shit. Daniel, what's up, man? I'm sorry. I've been in multiple windows. It's good to see you, and Happy New Year to everyone out there who I haven't said Happy New Year to. Gargola Conrad, how are you? Welcome to the chat. Everyone else. So, Stephen, for those of you who don't know, you missed the fun part of the stream. Okay. Stephen is in Taiwan now. And he's under 14-day quarantine. Hey, Mr. Spat. How are you? And we're coming up with ideas for Stephen to keep himself occupied for 14 days. I off the top of my head, I must have hit him with about 15.
Oh, yeah.
Each day I'm going to be sending them 2 or 3. Did you try that? Did you try this? You know, now you're not from the city, so you may find this, but you ever see sneakers on the telephone line? Anywhere in the world? Yes. Okay. You can take your shoes and take the lamp and put it in the middle of the room and swing it across the room. And dude, I got so much shit for you.
I wish we could send them stuff.
I know, right? That would be funny. Hey, Drones 863, how are you?
I'd send them coloring books.
Sean was messaging me earlier, and he was just saying, how can we send stuff to you? Is there ways that we can send you food or something or whatever it is? You know, he was saying the same thing. He was trying to find out.
See, that would have been nice, but I assume your window is perfectly sealed.
No, there's one window that can open, actually. There's one window outside that can open.
How far?
It's about that. It's about by this. I can stick my head out the window.
Not enough. Okay,
No.
never mind.
I can't fly a drone out there. This thing can't fly out. So,
No, don't even
See
risk
it
it.
now. See
When
it now.
doing
Somebody
CPR,
trying to smuggle something in there.
compression of the beat.
Lights come on, the siren starts.
Staying alive. You see what Rob C put, and he's a fireman as well. As Tom being retired fireman. When doing CPR, only do chest compressions to the beat of Staying Alive from the Bee Gees. It's no longer protocol to give mouth to mouth. Well, I'm glad to hear that, because that wasn't happening. I'm sorry. Rob, thank you so much. Thank you so much for that, man. I appreciate that, Rob. If I'm just saying, it's not happening on this side. That's all. That's all. Bob Casey, how are you, man? Hope all is well. But Sunday nights with those guys, really appreciate you coming on, Stephen, because when you're abroad and you tell us about these events, and the fact that you're documenting it, you should get some footage of you being on the live stream and stuff, call some people up and FaceTime and be like, look, I'm recording you right now. Act like this is my first time calling you. Dude, I got a ton of shit for you to.
I know.
You killed your camera.
Every time you say that, right? You got
Stephen.
Every time you say that, when Steven's abroad, I get like two old school mentalities at one time thinking you said abroad. No, Steven's never been abroad.
I hope not. I mean, it doesn't matter nowadays, but okay.
Overseas?
Don't make my mind wander. That's too confusing. Ed, Love My Drone says, I need abroad. Hey, Ed, your heart's just getting better.
Here we go.
It's all good. It's okay. We love you, Steve. You have to develop this relationship. So if we hear American found running down the street butt-ass naked after 14 days of quarantine in Taiwan, we'll know who the hell it is.
Exactly.
Could you imagine, Herman? As soon as they open the door, he's gone like Forrest Gump, butt-ass naked.
Freedom.
I'm free.
Looking for a beer.
All the room is totally rearranged.
Right. And have you played the Benny Hill music in the background? Oh my God. I would be in tears.
Lawrence, the room is totally rearranged, and then they figure
all
out
the
why
furniture's on the ceiling.
Why Steven was asking for so many pens, because he painted the room another color.
Could you imagine? Could you imagine?
There's actually dots. There's actually dots.
Shit on Rembrandt and Van Gogh. It's Stephen Go. They're wondering how come he keeps asking for Sharpies, especially red and blue.
The furniture's on the other side of the room.
Thanks, guys. hit the like button. But hey, what's up? But seriously, I can think of this stuff because I'm not in that situation.
Exactly.
I was in that situation, I'd be going humna like that in the corner somewhere, sucking my thumb, not knowing what to do.
I'm kind of like that.
It's like a box of chocolates.
Yeah.
Day number 3, Steven will be by that little window. Help! Help! Help!
But could you imagine every time he opened the window, sheets go down. You pull them back up, the sheets get a little longer. Wondering what the hell Steven's asking for so many sheets for.
They won't give me any more sheets. They won't give me any more. They won't give me. And don't give me.
They're not gonna give him any sheets.
Stop, man! I'm almost in tears, man. All I know, hey, Mr. Crowley, how
You're
are
lucky
you?
they let you keep your belt and your shoelaces.
True. True.
If anything leaves this room, it gets destroyed.
Destroyed. Stick a pen out the door and watch the flamethrower just go. I'm telling you, I wouldn't open that door unless I'm sure nobody was near it.
Oh, breakfast is coming soon.
Uh-oh.
Oh, okay, but that's right. It's 10 minutes to 7 there, right?
Yeah. Breakfast comes between 7 and 8. Let's see.
See that?
Okay.
He's in trouble when the live stream's over.
Herman, he
Yeah.
says they got a little bench outside the room where they sit to breakfast on. Then they
Yeah.
have another kid down the hall that throws a rock at the door. So when it hits the
And
door,
runs.
they run down the hall and then he can open the door. Lawrence, only Herman gets thumbs down now as I have a spanner here. The wrench. I don't get it. Only Herman's thumbs up now. Oh, you know why, Rob? I got rid of everyone as an administrator. There are only 4 administrators in this group. One of them is me, a moderator. One of them is me, one is Herman, one is Steven, who's on the panel, and the other is Geeks Vana. Only for security purposes. Because I find too often, and this happened during the last 4 or 5 live streams that I did, that you have Russian bots coming in trying to leave links, and I'm doing a live stream. Even though it's my live stream, and I'm supposed to be watching it anyway as the pilot in command, I had to catch it as opposed to everyone else, everybody in the room was a moderator and nobody caught it. So for security purposes, I've just decided to do that. But no harm done, no bad feeling to anyone. Tape, the truth. Oh, that's another thing. Thank you, Corey. My boy YACL said, all for duct tape. Ask for duct tape. Ask for duct tape. They walk in the room, they have a plate on the wall, a glass on the wall. Dude, I got so thanks.
I don't have plates or cups. Everything's paper.
Even more fun. As they give you the paper cups, you build a robot or something. You just keep extending the cups, dude.
Or tape the cups to the wall.
This is all my cups. See, this is all my cups.
Oh. Or you spell "help me" on the window. See?
Oh man.
Look. There's a lot of stuff you can do there. Like Kermit said, after 3 hours, you won't know what to do.
It's my descent into madness. This is my descent into madness.
You'll be fine, man. You have your Apple Watch. I'm sure you have it set to tell anyone if the body falls to call.
No.
No, you don't have that feature turned on? Hey, Welsh Rob, hey, Stephen, you may not notice, but Welsh Rob in the chat, Herman and I were trying to get him to sell us a 1 foot square of land. So over in the UK where he is, so we could claim it as put our family crest there and say we own land in the UK. But he says no land for me because I unmodded everybody.
I'll try to get you some land in Scotland.
Listen, I'm willing to buy 1 foot square plot of land in Finland, and I'm working on a family crest as we speak. It's going to say those guys, but
those guys.
That makes you now what, Lawrence?
What happened?
So that makes you what? Lawrence, just Lawrence still?
No, Lord Clark. That's my last name. Yes. I own that strip of land there. That land is owned by Lord Clark. You cannot step on it, and someone needs to shovel the snow off of the 1 foot square. You know. Anyway, let's get to the main story.
The snow building up for about a year.
Yeah, exactly. I want to set up this. I want to set up this next story, because I have to pull up an actual drawing first
Mm.
so we can get into the story and I can explain the severity of this. Because
How
after we
severe
talk
is
about
it?
the story, if we have enough time,
Mm.
there's a video on UTM, unmanned traffic management systems. If you don't understand it, this video is very thorough and it lets you know what's going on in this area right here that I'm about to show. This is a 50-mile corridor here, excuse me, here in New York that has been active for the last 3 years, 2 years. I think it's 2 years. I have to get the exact date. But the point I'm trying to make is this corridor was created. This is one of 7 corridors in the United States where drone testing beyond visual line of sight is being tested. If you get your certification, Stephen, to fly
Mhm.
beyond visual line of sight, and you want to do testing, this is one of 7 corridors in the United
Well,
States that you can actually do this in.
we've done we've done BVLOS. We done BVLOS when we done the pharmaceutical. Um,
Right.
so we know what it's like to do BVLOS, and we've applied for permission to do that, and it's not easy. It's to fly BVLOS legally is
Mm-hmm.
is hard work.
Mm.
It's really hard work. And now I think this story that you're talking about now, I think this is somehow relevant to the previous story that we just talked about with the
Mm-hmm.
drone defibrillator. Now, I know that there will be people out there that are maybe not very happy because this is this is a corridor which is
It's
for.
affecting people's lives.
Yes.
And if you fly drones, and the reason I have to bring this picture back up because
Mm.
I have to show you this, but why this story is so relevant because for the last 2 years since this corridor has been open, my ex-nephew-in-law has been letting me know that they get text messages and there are
Mm.
messages broadcast on the television saying that there will be testing in certain areas. You cannot fly your drones if you're caught, et cetera, et cetera. And this map right here shows Rome, New York.
Mm.
Right here is the
Mhm.
UAS testing site that covers all of this 50-mile radius. But where my nephew-in-law lives is southwest of this actual airfield in Rome, New York, where they
Mm.
do a lot of work. And he's constantly letting me know that I have to bring up this other picture. They're constantly letting me know that he sees stuff going, all kinds of different drones. He's like, man, if you moved up here, you would be happy. And I'm like, no, I wouldn't, because I wouldn't be able
Mhm.
to fly,
Yeah.
you know.
Well,
But I
well,
pulled up
but
Google
but
Maps. Go ahead.
but the point here is that they should be allowing, I mean, this is, a UTM. So this
Right.
should allow everyone to fly, no matter what. So,
It does, but during certain days you cannot go in the air. There are
well,
certain days that,
but
yeah.
I disagree with that, and that really defies the purpose of a UTM. It actually defies the purpose of a UTM, right? So the fact that you are not allowed to fly puts this whole thing, it now makes no sense. I
Well,
don't know.
what happens is, from what he tells me, because he does not fly, he
Mm,
tells me we got a text message saying that they're testing in this area and they would appreciate it if people who fly stay out of the area. Now, there are areas where you can still fly, obviously,
mm,
because it's a UTM and they use Lance, etc. But on the map here, this is where Rome is, and
mm,
this is Utica, the town he lives in, which is
mm.
well within this parameter of the
Yeah.
map. Here's Rome and where he is. And he just points out how he sees different sized drones and stuff going through the air, small ones, big ones, and stuff like that. And I thought it was an interesting story because New York is optimum place for
Mhm.
testing this stuff out. This company
Yeah.
NUAIR and the New York UAS test site have they just gave NUAIR, according to the story, 35 miles of airspace to do testing within that 50-mile corridor.
Yeah.
35 miles is a lot of distance to
It's
be
it's
prepared.
a big
Lawrence,
distance.
Lawrence, NUAIR actually runs this entire 50-mile corridor. We've done story after story after story. Wednesday night with those guys, 92, is when they put in their notice for request for information for this UTM to start the conducting of the study in that 50-mile corridor. That's what this 50-mile corridor was designed to test and to conduct drone operations in this area to see the future and where the future of the drone operation can actually go.
Okay,
And when we talked on Wednesday night with those guys, number 99 is when they got with drone responders in this area and in this to work in this area, this 50-mile corridor to go over
I remember
be able
that
to
story.
get drones into more to more companies that are looking to get into the drone industry. They're working on integrating drones into the industry. That's why they've locked off this area of the airspace to conduct this to see how it will roll out in the future. That's what this area is actually for. Now, this area that you're saying is 35 miles of space. This is done. This is supposed to be west in Griffiths Township in the in the what is it only some near a lake they have
It's
up there
at the airport. Griffiths International Airport.
Right, but it's at Griffiths International Airport, yes, but it's only a 35-mile space that they're going to be using for this beyond visual line of sight operation. This is not the first time that they've done it. They've gotten visual line of sight operations waivers since 19 to conduct operations in this area. So it's a whole working process. This is why they've locked off this airspace. It's not just to say that, oh, we're not allowing anybody to operate in the area. They've locked off the area to conduct this. We talked about this before, the symposium. 2 symposiums back now. The FAA has talked about this area, this is how long this has been going on. And they mentioned this and how to conduct beyond visual line of sight operations, we have to have better cameras, better sensors.
Yeah.
The time has come. We've seen now better sensors, we've seen better cameras. Beyond visual line of sight flight is where now we're going with it. Now the FAA is saying, now that these partnerships have been made, the beyond stage now is here to take it further. This is where this is going with them now. So we've seen it, we've heard it, now we're seeing it.
The fact that they've locked it down. When they lock it down in the name of a UTM, they should be bringing the public. I'm a great believer. I'm not a believer, but I really do feel strongly that this is not when you look in, and this is a big area. This is a massive area they've locked down.
It is.
Really, I've never seen anything that big before. I know that they're doing these kind of things in the UK as well, and they really do lock everyone away. And of course, these are usually in areas that don't really affect people. But I think that this is slightly different. But they should be bringing in the public, and they should be bringing the normal hobby pilots to have them fly in the same airspace.
Because the story does mention, well, actually not the story, but the UTM video that I got from NUAIR's website goes on to say how they consider all drone flight from 400 feet and below, and how those drones are considered warnings or hazards because there's always a chance that they could breach the 400-foot limit. But the story did go on to say that they do monitor everything from 400 feet below and from that 500 foot above and 500 foot and higher also.
Yeah.
I understand what Stephen is saying, but the thing is, what it is that what they're doing in those areas, Stephen, is a controlled simulation of how it interacts with, and plus they have the airport right there, so it's a controlled interaction of how drones would interact with, say, the hobbyists, or the average guy, the hobbyist, and with commercial, how that all interacts with manned aircraft. That's why they use that area.
That I sent you guys, the video that I sent you on UTM, if you watch the whole video, there was a lot of talking, but they also showed how they had 4 drones in a scenario. They had one drone go up and hover, which was supposed to be just an observation drone. They had another drone go up, and one was supposed to be considered civilian drone, and one was supposed to be some other type of business drone or whatever, but they all interacted, and they had to show how a plane flying through the area, which they authorized, how the drone had to lower and get out of the plane's way. If you saw the video, and I wanted to show the video, but I don't want to get a copyright, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to post a link, because it's very informative.
I've been involved in a similar project where I was flying drones. I was flying 2 drones in an area in with a UTM, and both of the drones that I was flying were actually brought down because of an infringement in the airspace, and that was all part of the test. We were working with AMAP at the time, so they, and what I think is important, and what you guys should do here, is you should be looking at what does that data look like when they're finished. So when they
this UTM video shows that.
Get the data, but when they're finished, so when they've done 3 months or let's say however many weeks it is, get the results of the data. It's really important for you, it's important for everyone else to understand the impact of those tests, because that data should be available to everyone, because it will affect you all. And you should have a right to be able to look at it and say, this works or this doesn't work, or why does it not work? What can be improved? Can we be involved? Contact these people and say, look, we want to fly your drones. Can you allow the public to fly drones? But then we just get warnings, or we are then affected, because again, if you go into the system, they will see you. They will know where you are.
Yes,
so
they see who you are. Right, like the example in the UTM video that I want to put the link to, they show how each drone that was in the air was alerted that there was an aircraft approaching. Okay, and that's very important, because for all of this stuff to be interactive, you have to be able to see each other. And us, we have to see them more than them see us, due to the fact that they're moving a lot faster than we are. So, and then the video goes on to show how the drone sees a plane. They show the software and the code that actually recognizes that there's an aircraft passing, because it's moving at a certain amount of speed. And the drone actually lowers down out of its way, because we are supposed to yield away to all aircraft anyway.
Yeah, but understanding the whole BVLOS. I think
this video explains a lot.
That will be a small part of it. There will be BVLOS tests going on, so there will be 5G, 4G tests going on there as well. They will be seeing how the how the network will be handling that. 5G, as we know, there's some issues with the FAA at the moment. They're not happy with the 5G. I think
by the airports, they're having a problem with 5G. I understand, for some reason. The airports are saying that you cannot put a 5G network near the airport within a certain distance. I don't know what the technical problem is, but there are a few airports that are not allowing 5G networks around their airports. As to why, I do not know.
I think you know, there is a possibility of interference from the radio frequency. However, the 5G networks that we have, for example, in Europe, so far from what I've understood, they have not had any impact on the aviation industry. I've personally seen some 5G interference when we've been doing drone operations. That's just one part of what we've been doing. I wouldn't say that should have an impact on let's say everything, and they shouldn't have 5G. I think that there's more research that has to be done about that. But certainly, I have seen some frequency issues which were related to 5G. But again, I'm not saying that is a big problem. It was only affecting us at a certain point. So therefore, that doesn't say that everything's bad. You know, so I have to be really careful what I say here. You know, I experienced problems, but it was fixable. You know, so
Right. Well, I wanted to point out this company. Herman enlightened me on something. I didn't know NUAIR ran everything. I didn't know that, but I did. I do have a habit of when I do these stories, you know, they have a link to the company, and I actually went to the NUAIR website for the reason of maybe getting some more information, and maybe you guys want to check out their website and see what they're doing. But I went to their gallery to look at the photos, and these photos are showing these photos go on to show the different types of drones they're using. Says we test a wide variety of drones, unmanned aircraft optionally at this test site. A lot of them, you see the Ortel right here. You see an Ortel bird. This one, I have no idea what inverted props, but we know
that's why they brought in.
That's an M300.
Yeah, Lawrence. That's why they brought in drone responders, because they wanted to get real world, how it interaction with real world and even and because you know drone responders works a lot with search and rescue, you know, the first responders.
Yeah.
You know,
this page, I'm going to put the link to it right here. I'm going to copy it now. But check out this page. Go to their photos. The UTM video that I'm posting also came from their site. They did this UTM video, but it goes on to show a large variety of drones and aircraft or UAS vehicles that they are testing in this area. And I thought it might be informative to let you guys check out their radar room. And this site lets you know everything.
Yeah, it's up there in Oneida, in Oneida County.
Yes.
Oneida County.
Yeah. Hey, Tom, what's good? How are you?
Good.
Now I'm going to post a link to NUAIR's website in the chat, but that UTM video, if you don't understand what a UTM is and it has to do with remote ID and all this and that, yes, it does. But you, like Joshua Bardwell, the FPV guy says, you might learn something today.
So if I could just say something about 5G and the airlines.
Go for it.
You know, the big problem here is if you're instrument rated, that means you have to rely on your instruments at two critical points. Those two critical points are, of course, coming up to rotation speed for takeoff, and more importantly, being able to land. And the concern that the airlines have is basically with your ability to land in inclement weather. 5G pushes a ton of data, okay? And the systems that control at major airports right now, their biggest concern is that the systems that are in place to help pilots land in inclement weather could be impacted by 5G. So at this point, AT&T and Verizon basically turned their nose up at the FAA and said, hey, we're going to go forward anyway. But here you have two agencies, and Stephen, this is classic in all worlds here in the United States.
Okay.
The FAA and the FCC don't agree on the same things, or don't feel that they need to give the same level of priority. But at least at this point, from what I know, is that they've limited the 5G transmissions around the airports. So we'll see what kind of impact that has over some time. I'm probably going to wait until April or May to fly, but that's just me.
Just one. Sorry, and Tom. It's good to see you, Tom. Just one small thing as well about 5G, which I've learned from one of the operators in Finland, which I was talking to, and they are saying that the height range of 5G is really limited. It's absolutely
well 5G. Right, 5G is dependent on microsites, and a lot of them. Yeah. So 5G does you no good in anywhere but urban areas. To be honest with you.
Well, see, Tom, I think that's what they.
But that's where the most bandwidth is needed. So that's right. Why it applies in those urban areas.
Well, you got to think about it. That 5G network incorporates everything from controllable stoplights in some cities by the fire companies to get to a direction.
Well, that's where they want to get to, right?
All of that.
So here's how I would explain it. When I had to explain it to a bunch of fire chiefs, I would explain it this way. Okay, 3G is a garden hose.
Excuse me, there is.
And we all have one, right? 4G was a 2-inch line. And then 5G would be a satellite hose, okay? So they would understand that concept because it's basically, it's a pipe. And it's the ability to broadcast through this pipe, which is more robust, has more channels, greater range across the spectrum. It's the amount of data that can be pushed and the amount of IoT that can hang off of that, right? Internet of Things is, it's all around us. We're wearing them, we're using them, we're touching them, they're turning lights on for us. Just let's hope they don't turn against us. Okay, that's the only thing you got to worry about. Right now I have my wife is thrilled because she got 2 drones for Christmas. Okay. She got Vicky Vac from Roomba. Okay. And she got Molly Mop also from Roomba. So now she's got her drones. Okay. Right now they're running amok throughout the house. And the funny thing is if you want Molly Mop, and you have to name them. So, go figure.
Yeah, you do have to name
them. If you want Molly Mop to go mop the kitchen, she first checks with Vicky Vac to make sure Vicky Vac vacuumed.
Right.
And if not, sends Vicky Vac to go vacuum. Okay. I'm just hoping they don't start tasking me at some point. That's all.
No, but at some time and point, you will be barred from the kitchen. It sounds like.
All of this is reliant on data flow, and that's where 5G comes in. And you're right, Stephen. 5G has such a minimal range, okay, that most, we've talked about this on past shows, Herman.
Yeah,
most BVLOS is going to be done over a 4G system.
Yep.
Okay? 4G is going to give you the long haul. And at some point, it'll be done over a Skynet system.
Yeah.
It's all going to be dependent on the ability to move data consistently across a long range. Okay? Mm-hmm. And the key to all of this is the logistics of it, is having, and Stephen, you pointed that out. It's not about just throwing a drone up, but how many range tests have we seen? And there's been some controversy lately about range tests, right? And how they go against the rules and all. Range test is not BVLOS. That's not what we're talking about. BVLOS involves a great amount of logistics, putting the right resources together, having the right monitoring, having the UTM in place so that you can move through the skies with ease. You know what? It's just like pilots having to provide a flight plan and then checking and having that flight plan. Now, if you've ever filed a flight plan, it's a dream sheet. I'd like to go from point A to point B, okay? But when you get in that cockpit and you get your first authorization, you're probably going from point A to point M, to point K, to point C, to get to point B. Okay, so your plans go out the window. Why? Because air traffic control has to manage that traffic through the air. Now we're expecting the same thing to happen with drones. Okay.
Exactly.
So that's as clear as we can make it.
I think I think that there's people out there who fly drones just as a hobby, whether it's a Mini 2 or whatever it is, who if I can say this, I can't say this in any nice way, are quite arrogant about the fact that they think they own the sky.
Right.
No, you don't own the sky. No one owns the sky. But the more that we fly these, the more that everyone goes out and buys them because you can buy them off the shelf, the more that, unfortunately, they have to be controlled. We have to be controlled, because if we're throwing these things up in the sky and trying to get nice images or doing FPV or whatever it is, unfortunately, there has to be some point where someone has to say, look, we need to get, we're not going to stop you from flying. We just need to know where you are so that the skies are not becoming too congested, because right. And this is the whole point of UTM is yeah, okay, there will be some people who will benefit out of it. I'm sure there's, and I hate to see that drone delivery and for like some bread or whatever it is, or pop socks or whatever. I'm not in favour of that. But this goes back to the first story with the defibrillator. Things that need to be done, things that will actually help us. So that if it's going to be a 35-kilometer range or whatever it is, and a drone's flying from A get to M, and then at the same point is saving someone's life, you go, it's worth it. It's definitely worth it.
Well, it's just like using your emergency signaling devices in an emergency vehicle. Yeah. You're asking people to move out of your way. Okay?
Exactly.
Now let's keep something in mind. The reason for all these regulations and all, and we all push against them, right? Okay. And here in the United States, Stephen, we think, we as individuals have every right over the entire community. So that's a problem we have here. Okay. But one thing we have to remember is the first order of business is to protect the terrestrials. That's us. Okay.
Yeah.
If shit is banging into each other up in the sky, we got a problem here on the ground. Okay.
True.
First and foremost.
Very true.
Okay. Now let me give you an analogy. You have recreational drone flyers and you have commercial pilots flying drones, right? Okay, we'll make that distinction. In the aviation community, you have ATPs, you have cargo pilots, you have commercial pilots, you have private pilots, you have light sport pilots. Okay? A light sport pilot is not doing anything for commercial means because they're not allowed to. So figure them, they're the recreational hobbyists we're talking about, right? Has the FAA here in this country not integrated them into the system? Of course they have. So they're not out to get us in the rec world here, the hobbyist world. They're here to help us integrate into it. And when you bring BVLOS into play, then we want to make sure we're properly integrated. So when we haphazardly, as recreational flyers, go fly beyond visual line of sight and do stupid things, we want to make sure there's systems in place that protect everybody else from us.
Yeah,
okay?
Exactly.
And that will manage that traffic. Hey, the reason why you're going from one waypoint to another and you're not going the direct route you requested in your flight plan is because something changed and the air traffic control system had to then reroute you. Okay, it's like Waze saying, hey, there's traffic on the JFK bridge, so take the Whitestone instead. But in this case, they're telling you you're only going to take the Whitestone because there's no way you're going over the JFK. So that's all it is. And when we get up in arms about, hey, they can't control us, they can't manage us, damn, I hope they are highly successful at managing us.
Yeah, I know it. But again, this all comes down to education and people understanding about aviation and what we are doing. Whether you're flying a Mini 2 or whether you're flying an Inspire 2 or an M600, it doesn't matter. It's still aviation what we're doing, and
Right.
I think that there's still a long way to go in the hobby community. Even though it's a hobby, it's still aviation. You've got guys who fly. You've got guys who fly, ultralight planes. Yes, it's a hobby, but it's still aviation. You still have to go through all the licensing. You still have to go through the permissions and everything. Just because you fly one of these doesn't make you exempt, but it shouldn't make you exempt. And in the future, it's not going to make you exempt.
Correct. So here's part of the problem.
I mentioned
here's the pushback is when people turn around and go, well, you know what? It shouldn't be a problem because I can walk into a Best Buy and just purchase a drone and put it up in the air. I don't need any licensing or anything, right? We now know in this country you need a trust exam, and in most other developed countries you need to go a little further. But in the ultralight community, you know what, Lawrence? You can go out and buy one. You don't even need a driver's license.
I know.
You don't need a pilot's license, and then you can get in it and go ahead and fly it.
You'll need clearance for takeoff.
Boardwalk, right? But here's the problem. You're seated in it, right? So you're not going to, hopefully, not pull a knucklehead move like that because now you're at risk. That's what we're lacking in the drone world. It's unmanned, okay? We're not sitting in it. So we don't take the risk as serious, okay? And now when you start to talk about unmanned,
the
traffic carrying taxing people around, man, I want them to get the system right before they.
You're right about that, Tom. But the thing about what you're saying about manned and not manned and unmanned and as opposed to manned, that is somewhat the same argument, and from what I'm looking from my standpoint, as the argument that the whole gun industry has. I'm a responsible pilot because I respect what I'm doing. I'm a responsible pilot because I respect the money that I have invested in it. Right. I'm a responsible gun owner because I respect it. I'm a responsible gun owner because of I respect the whole nature of the whole of everything that has to do with it. It becomes the same argument. The guy who doesn't respect it, there's nothing else out there that's to stop him.
Yeah.
Well, that's where this kind of takes a little certain turn, okay? This has a lot more monitoring and a lot more detection and in place, and that's where it's leading to provide more risk aversion, okay? Because when you get that irresponsible person and they enter the airspace, you want to identify that they're in the airspace, okay? So that you can reroute other traffic around the hazard.
No, I get that. Right? Totally understand that.
Yeah.
I totally understand.
But and there's going to be those people.
But we all know what happened a few weeks ago, and we don't have to mention names, but we know, obviously, stuff. I mean, there was a huge potential there. You could have easily have had air traffic in that area that that would have to be diverted, which could have been emergency. Which could have had life-threatening flights there, and that's where I have the issue here is that we as a community, there are always going to be people who are flying BVLOS and whatever it is and stuff, and if you don't know the rules, because you could just go out and buy one of these off the shelf, you can buy them off the shelf, fly them. If you don't understand, then fine, you get your knuckles wrapped and that's it. If you know the rules and if you have a following and all the rest of it, and I have got issues with that. I have very serious issues with that because it puts us in a bad light. It makes my job in the future harder I need to spend a hell of a lot more time filling out forms for BVLOS, which is actually costing me money. Okay, I've got issues with this, and I've spoken about. I've spoken with the person with this, and I've given my two cents worth as to why it was responsible and the consequences of that. And I do understand that people either don't see it, don't understand, or don't give a shit. But at the end of the day,
that's two different camps.
And this is, I mean, again, I come from the hobby side, I come from the professional side. I can see both sides of this. But at the end of the day, when I'm doing BVLOS, when I'm having to apply for BVLOS, this thing doesn't come overnight. It takes weeks. It takes weeks.
And you have to detail. You have to detail.
You have to cancel it, and then have to cancel it because someone's not observing. The proper way.
Well, it comes down to community, Stephen, right?
Yeah.
Is understanding that we're part of a community.
Yeah.
And what one soul does in the community has direct impact on the others. Okay?
This is true.
But this is life. I mean, this is we're facing it right now with pandemics and everything else, right? This is we have to Stephen, when you have to deal with BVLOS, you have to put in great detail your risk aversion, how you're going to manage that, what's going to happen if, okay? And your ifs, you better cover all the ifs, because if they see you haven't covered one that they've thought of, you go ahead, refile. Give you another 3 months on this.
Yeah,
right.
And then when you get bad press that pops up, it gets them to look closer and closer. And that means more and more work for the professional.
Yeah.
Guys, we're going to have to carry this conversation on Wednesday night.
Oh, yeah, this is the abbreviated version of those guys. I forgot, Herman.
I'm going to give you, I'm just going to give you one more example as to why this works. And that was when I was doing the BVLOS for the pharmaceutical, and we'd done everything right, and we put in a NOTAM. So we had a NOTAM in place. Now, I got a phone call one day from a seaplane pilot, okay, a guy who flies a seaplane, and he was going to be, or actually, he wanted to fly through my airspace, and he phoned me to ask me. Now, that's where it shows you how the system works, right?
Yes.
He phones me.
Yes.
I don't know who the guy is. He phones me and says, "Look, I see the NOTAM. Your phone number's here. Would it be possible?" He said, "If I fly?" I said, "Yeah." I said, "Yeah, just give me a call." So, he calls me 10, 15 minutes beforehand. So I make sure the drone's not in the air. I'm not infringing on the airspace. He can fly through.
And that's just the way it works.
But Stephen, that's why there's a lack of understanding. And there's ignorance to a certain degree that you should expect. Because unless you're in the aviation industry, you don't understand how important a NOTAM is. A NOTAM is just that. It's a notice to other airmen. Why did you have to list your number? Well, there are circumstances that come up all the time. But there's systems in place to manage those circumstances. And that pilot was professional. He contacted you. It's just like in the early days flying drones, having to contact the tower, knowing how to speak to the tower properly,
remember those
how
days.
to speak to the airport manager, okay, and how to convey what you were doing in a professional manner so that they have a level of confidence in you.
Yeah. And because of the logistics of that, they stopped that shit.
Well, you know what it was? There was a level of abuse. There were people that were calling in going, "Well, I don't care what you got going on. I only have to provide you a notice that I'm flying." No, it doesn't work that way.
True.
And when the air traffic community gets together and says, "This isn't working," cancel flights.
Too many calls to Kennedy and those airports. I think they stopped that right away and came up with the land system.
If you guys remember of a time where we used to call the control tower here at JFK, there was Stephen, you may not know about this because you're outside of the country, but there is an air traffic control tower employee who made videos on declining people permission to fly.
Really?
He
Really?
became famous from doing this from JFK, an international airport, of telling people, no, you can't fly here now, even though there was no reason you can't fly where you're flying from. He made videos on this, you know, and now that that's gone, you don't have to deal with people like him.
Yeah.
You know, and it's a lot easier to pull up my phone and show I have authorization through a text and through several apps that I'm using that I have permission to be here.
I'm going to
So
say this
I'm happy.
officially right now. So if you want to hit the views and
Uh-oh.
concerns,
Hold on. The views and opinions tonight are not necessarily the views and opinions of everybody on the panel and or in the chat.
that
Okay.
applies to Lawrence because I'm in the aviation world, and I'll tell you, air traffic controllers are the very best. Okay, they're the most stressful job anywhere. Okay, so I love my air traffic controllers. They've been kind to me in the past. Okay, and hopefully our association, Lawrence, won't change that. Okay, thank you.
You should, you
No,
know, you should
understandable.
watch
Totally-
Sean's video. Sean has a video about flying next to the airport and next to Gatwick Airport, and he was getting permission using the UTM. You should anyone who's not watched that video. It's a video that just came out a few days ago. Watch that video. It's amazing, and he's got some good stuff coming up with that. Really good stuff.
Good.
Again, this is doing it properly.
Yeah. Good.
Okay.
Yeah, doing it.
Well,
Just
guys,
You
doing
know
it.
what? Like
It's
I
a
said,
cookbook. It's a cookbook.
Eventually, it's going to come down to the point where we taking off just like a regular pilot.
No, yeah.
Right. And you'll have to wait for clearance, which you do already, because
I'm going to get me a helmet. All right.
Huh?
I'm going to get a helmet with the I'm going to get the helmet.
I want to see you in
mic
those
and the
big David
plug-in.
clocks. Okay. With the boom mic in front.
Listen, guys, we got to get out of here. All right. We
Some
appreciate you all.
Ray-Bans or something. Go with it.
Some Ray-Bans, right? we appreciate you all for checking this out. Don't forget to check out Herman on Wednesday nights. Stephen will
we'll
be back.
on Wednesday.
Tom, are you going to join us on Wednesday?
I do my best. I
don't know
I
if
have
you're
the
out
opposite
in the
problem
desert.
from Steven.
We don't know
It's
if you're
early
out
here.
in the desert, some filming dirt bikes and stuff like that, or having lunch, and I don't know what's going on.
Hey, Angie, how you doing?
Look behind me. That's the 7 mountains behind me, man. Right in that desert where I was shooting.
All
yesterday.
right.
Yeah.
All right. Well, listen, we appreciate you guys. We appreciate you all. And Sunday night, hold on. As a mod, I want to point out that this bot is back in again. If you scroll up from above Angie, there's in Russian, the VR.org.
Yeah.
See, this is why I have removed everyone as moderators, because this is the kind of stuff that as a moderator you should see. So I always report these unwanted commercial and or content or spam. So they try to come back in, they won't be able to. But thank you. Herman timed them out, and I also reported. But this is why everyone is without a wrench. Anyway, we got to get the hell out of here. Sunday Nights with Those Guys is sponsored by
Those guys.
We appreciate you all. Thank you. Be safe, fly safe for you guys. Got anything else to say out there?
Peace and love.
Well, we'll be back on Wednesday with some
day
new
number
and
2.
exciting stories.
Day
Stay
number
healthy.
2 with Steven on
Stay healthy.
lockdown.
See how Steven is
Steven's
going.
got
By then, he
nowhere
should be
else to go,
climbing
I
the
hear.
walls. We'll be back on Wednesday with Climbing the Walls with Steven.
Yes, we will. You guys, good night, everyone. Have a great
Cheers.
evening.
Good night. Good night.
Good night,
care, all.
everyone.
Bye.
We